We've got two of the top vacuum mop combos that you can buy right now, the ECOVACS Deebot X2 Omni and the ECOVACS Deebot T20 Omni. Both with their own take on style, cleaning, unique features, and of course, price point. And at that price point, you don't want to make the wrong choice. So after months of testing the ECOVACS robot vacuums, I'm here to put these vacuums to the test and show you what's different and which one is best for your space. I'll also give you a comparison chart at the end so you can follow along, so stay tuned for that. So when you're looking for a robot vacuum, it's kind of a wild ride these days, and much different than it was even 5 years ago. First, we just wanted an autonomous vacuum that would just bump into walls and then turn back the other way. Then we wanted 3D mapping and the ability to see where it was cleaning and maybe limit the room or the part of the room that it was cleaning. Then we wanted a base that could self-empty. So package all of that together and then add on the ability to mop while it vacuums, self-empty the vacuum and mop, then wash and dry the mopping pads, then make it talk. Okay, Eco?
Go ahead.
This is the ECOVACS Deebot X2 Omni. Take everything you know about the T20 and then improve on it. A brand new modern square vacuum and some incredible spec updates like jumping from 6,000 to 8,000 PA suction, which is almost unheard of with robot vacuums. Then add a new slimmer low profile and a larger 6400 mAh battery, dual LiDAR sensor on the front, AI-powered obstacle avoidance, a new built-in camera for patrolling your house, and then on the bottom add a 20 centimeter long roller brush for a larger cleaning area, one brush on the side, and mopping pads capable of lifting 15 millimeters on carpet instead of just 9 with the T20 Omni. The base is also much improved with a slim and low profile that feels much more premium. It's amazing they didn't sacrifice on features by making this thing smaller either. In the top you have your clean water tank and the dirty water tank. In the base you have the dustbin, and in the bottom you have the same ability to charge, auto-empty, and wash and dry the mopping pads. The new design is incredible because it means accurately cleaning along the corners and walls without needing to pivot along them, which will speed up cleaning times. Removing the top navigation module from the T20 means a lower profile that actually fits right underneath my furniture for a more comprehensive clean. And a dual LiDAR sensor on the front and the side that are completely enclosed mean more durability, free of dust getting in and causing long-term damage, unlike the T20. In terms of cleaning options, you get a very similar vacuum only, mopping, vacuum and mop, or mop after vacuum. You have the same ability to choose vacuum power and the number of times to clean, or the water level for mopping. In the base, you have the option to empty the dustbin automatically at the end of your cleaning, or intelligently throughout the cleaning, which is great when you have pets. For the mopping pads, you can choose to clean at 10, 15, or 25 minutes of cleaning. You can also choose to wash them after cleaning a specific room, if say you know your kitchen's going to be messier than the rest of the house. The hot air drying after mop washing can be 2, 3, or 4 hours. The X2 Omni has a pet-friendly mode that can identify pet zones like feeding, sleeping, litter, and can also avoid pet waste. But one of the coolest features of the X2 Omni is the video manager. Using the 960p 148.3 degree camera, you can instantly turn your X2 Omni into a remote control security camera. It has the ability to steer around the house, and you can choose to take photos or videos for later. You can patrol the house if you want to do a hands-free patrol. You can do a voice call if you want to speak through it. You can even choose an HDR setting to choose whether to use voice or light indicator when the vacuum is actually using that video. The whole time you get a bird's eye view of where you are on a map, and you can return to the station with just one click. Overall, this is my favorite robot vacuum so far, with more intelligent cleaning, an extra 2,000 PA of suction, which is great for having pets and carpet, the enhancements of Video Manager and a better app, and the more sleek and modern design. It's an expensive purchase, but if you have the funds for it, it's the best vacuum that I've used. Okay, Eco?
I'm here.
This is the ECOVACS Deebot T20 Omni. This is the little sibling out of these two vacuums, and we'll get to what features it's lacking in a minute, but this vacuum has quickly become a staple in my home. Testing over the past few months, it's been one of my favorite all-in-one vacuums, powerful enough to clean up after my 2 shedding dogs, and intelligent enough that I don't have to use the app at all to tell it to start cleaning. On paper, it's a solid vacuum with 6,000 PA of suction, making it one of the strongest in the market, where the average vacuum has 3,000 to 5,000. It has a laser and sensor-based True Detect module on the front for obstacle avoidance, laser and sensor-based navigation module on the top, making it great at navigating your home. On the bottom, you've got your anti-drop sensors and ultrasonic sensor that allow for cliff detection. It's got 2 side brushes and a central brush, plus 2 mopping pads that can auto lift up to 9 millimeters when going over carpet. The base station is one of the largest in size that I've used, but with good reason. In the top, you've got the clean water tank and the dirty water tank that allow it to auto-empty and self-clean. In the center is the dustbin, and then moving down to the bottom is where the vacuum docks to charge, auto-empties, and also the ability to wash the mopping pads after mopping with 55-degree hot water washing, and then hot air drying for a set duration. It really is an all-in-one solution that justifies the size and the price. With this vacuum, you have a ton of options. It's one of the first things that I noticed. For cleaning modes, you have vacuum only, mop only. You can vacuum and mop at the same time where it knows to lift the mopping pads over the carpet, or vacuum the whole house and then mop after. You can set the cleaning efficiency from standard to deep to fast and perform edge deep cleaning once every 7 days. When vacuuming, you have the option to clean once or twice and set the suction from quiet, standard, strong, and max. And we'll touch a little more on the sound of each of those in my test later in the video. When mopping, you choose to clean once or twice, and you can also choose the mopping pad wetness, the mopping pad cleaning interval, and the hot air drying time. The base station lets you manually begin mop pad cleaning, emptying the dustbin, hot air drying, and self-cleaning. For hot water washing, you can choose deep washing or water efficient washing. The app lets you map out your home. It can automatically divide the rooms. You can even set the room cleaning order or select an area to spot clean. The voice assistant Yico is an incredible addition that lets you ditch the app entirely just to speak to it. And when you do speak to it, it can actually turn to look at you, which is kind of a cool touch. Okay, Yico?
I'm here.
Okay, Yico?
I'm here.
Over months with this vacuum, I actually use the app less and less now that I can just speak to it to start the cleaning, and it does work really smoothly. The only thing that I found that I didn't like was the accidental trigger of the assistant, thinking that it heard its name. With it situated so close to my TV, every once in a while it wakes up thinking I'm speaking to it, but it's never accidentally triggered the start cleaning, just waking up and saying, I'm here. Overall, it's a great all-in-one cleaner, and I've been really happy with it. The only obvious downsides are the same as most other vacuums, like the rounded design making it a challenge to clean corners, relying on the side brushes to run along the wall, which can be inefficient, and the navigation module on top, which means it isn't able to go under my couch or furniture. But the downsides here are all addressed in the T20's bigger sibling, the X2 Omni. Now with the price difference, it was important for me to show how much different it is between the T20 Omni and the X2 Omni. Use the chapters to jump to a specific section of the comparison with a summary at the end. To test out the vacuum strength, I set up 2 tests. Applying soil to the carpet, we provided an overly dramatic test. The soil itself was partly damp and no vacuum will be able to fully clean that, but it's a good baseline for suction and it shows well on camera. Setting a spot clean in the app, the X2 runs a perimeter of the area and then paces horizontally across the carpet and then a second pass vertically. I was surprised how well the suction actually worked on carpet with minimal surface dirt still left on the carpet. Running the same test with the T20 Omni, we found that it wasn't able to pick up nearly the same amount of dirt from the carpet, leaving a lot of surface dirt behind. Now in our second, slightly more realistic test, we used crushed up crackers that wouldn't sink as far into the carpet. This test was less about suction and more about navigation and thoroughness, as the crumbs were less likely to sink deeper and deeper. As the X2 ran across and then vertically, you could see the key points as it turned where it was missing some of the cracks. It was clear it was consistently missing the intersecting points between the horizontal and vertical pattern. Running the same test with the T20, and surprisingly, on first pass it picked up a majority of the crackers, and upon second pass it was able to nearly eliminate the crumbs altogether. So in attempt 1 testing suction, we found that the X2 was noticeably better at picking up the dirt, but in attempt 2 testing navigation, we found even though the T20 has a smaller brush system, it provided a more intentional overlap in its pattern, enabling a more thorough clean. Throughout our testing on hard surfaces, we still found that the X2 was a superior clean around edges and corners where the brush was able to help collect dust for an accurate clean. Still, the carpet test could be easily fixed on the X2 by simply providing a software update to do slightly tighter navigation patterns. To test the mopping capabilities, we started with a floor cleaner that would bubble up if not fully clean and highlight a trail of the mop on camera. Beginning with the T20 Omni, it followed a similar pattern around the perimeter and then pacing through a tight overlapping pattern. The T20 seemed to leave behind a lot of liquid, which would require a second pass to fully clean. Running the same test with the X2, it was able to thoroughly clean the liquid on one single pass without leaving bubbles behind. Both seemed to do a good job, where the T20 needed a second pass to make the entire area clean. To run sound tests on the vacuum, we set up a microphone and an Apple Watch to measure peak decibels. We ran across a series of tests using each of the strength settings on the vacuum. The X2 running on quiet mode reached 68 decibels on hard surfaces. The T20 ran at a lower 64 decibels. Running on standard mode, the X2 reached 71 decibels, just slightly more than before. The T20 reached a similar 70 decibels. Running on strong mode, the X2 reached 74 decibels. The T20 reached 73 decibels. And finally, running on max plus mode, the X2 reached 78 decibels. The T20 ran a similar 78 decibels, reaching up to 80 decibels. Overall, both performed similarly, reaching 64 to 68 decibels in quiet mode, 70 decibels in standard, 74 in strong, and 80 decibels in max plus mode. Running the same noise test on the base emptying the dustbin reached max volume of 85 decibels. The T20 had a slightly higher 86 decibels when emptying the dustbin. Cleaning the mopping pads reached a peak of 73 decibels and an average of 67. The T20 also came in slightly higher here at a max of 75 decibels. Results were very similar here, with the T20 coming in slightly higher but not a deal breaker in any way. To test the object avoidance, we set dog toys of varying weights across the carpet. As the T20 passed across the carpet, able to navigate around the toys on the ground while keeping a slight distance, missing some areas to the left of the strawberry. The X2 performed the same test, and we see it gets much closer to the toys, actually slightly shifting the strawberry over. It manages to cover more ground around the toys, cleaning the whole area leveraging its dual LiDAR system. Both did a great job maneuvering the toys, but the X2 performed slightly better on this test. Comparing the mop head lifting abilities, I set both vacuums to vacuum and mop over a vinyl and rug spot clean. The T20 was able to lift up to 9 millimeters to go over the carpet, which worked well on mine as it's not a high pile or shag rug. Doing the same test with the X2, it was able to raise 15 millimeters, nearly double what the T20 can do. While both the T20 and the X2 are using the same app, their controls are very different. The T20 allows auto cleaning, recharge, and enter smart cleaning. The X2 offers the same with the addition of the video monitor feature to remotely access your X2 video camera. The T20 shows an overview of your map with the ability to change maps or quick map, controls for starting the vacuum, and a button to change the cleaning type from vacuum or mop, and access to the station features. The X2 elevates the experience with a much nicer looking map, toggling between maps at the top of the screen, and a much cleaner interface. Swiping gives you control over the cleaning mode for a more simplified experience. To better follow along with this review, I provided a comparison guide. The T20 Omni got an overall rating of 4 out of 5 stars. It had a slightly weaker navigation module where the X2 had dual laser LiDAR. The vacuum suction is 6000 PA, which is great, however the X2 had an extremely powerful 8000 PA. The T20 can lift the mop pads 9 millimeters where going over carpet, and the X2 can lift 15 millimeters. The T20 cleans with 2 brushes, while thanks to a larger brush and a square compact design, the X2 only needs 1. The battery life on the X2 is greater, meaning it cleans for longer. The base on the X2 is substantially smaller. Noise levels were similar between the two, ranging between 64 and 80 decibels depending on your cleaning mode. Hot water washing of the mopping pads is available on both. The video manager is only available on the X2 to patrol your home, and the water volume adjustment when mopping is exclusive to the X2. Overall, I give the T20 Omni a great 4 out of 5 stars and the X2 Omni a 5 out of 5 stars. So which one is right for you? Having used both and put them to the test, I found that the T20 is actually good enough for most people. The only downsides I found were the height and the inability to go under all of my furniture. So if you're looking to save a bit of money while still getting really solid vacuums, you can be really happy with the T20 Omni. The X2's biggest changes are the stronger suction, the more modern design, and the video manager, all coupled together with a more streamlined app. These were awesome quality of life improvements, and if you have the budget to spend, the X2 is my favorite choice. If you have any questions about these options, let me know down in the comments. A big thanks to ECOVACS for sponsoring this video and providing these vacuums for testing for this review. And thank you to all of you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.